Welcome to another CPG webcast, the service of CPGmatters. I'm your host, John Karolefski. Thank you for joining us. Today we're talking about determining your share of shopper to increase sales in the center store of supermarkets. Sales are declining, so it's time for a new strategy based on shopper behavior. But why is shopper behavior so important? Joining me to answer that question is Priya Babu, President of Client Solutions at Video Mining. So Priya, why is observing shopper behavior so important to optimizing center store sales?
Well, it comes down to a basic principle that everyone needs to recognize. If you don't pass a product, you won't see it, and you certainly can't buy it. Therefore, the ability to observe shopper behavior in large numbers and over multiple time periods and across different layouts and across numerous promotional influences becomes essential to optimize center store.
Studying shopper behavior, Priya, is part of shopper marketing that the retail and CPG industry is focused on nowadays. Could you explain the connection?
Yeah, absolutely, John. The advent of shopper marketing has led to the realization that both retailers and CPG manufacturers need to understand two very important components of shopper behavior, and that is path to purchase and the moment of truth. While the shopper marketing community recognizes that the path to purchase begins with the decision about where to shop for your product needs across multiple channels, the actual shopping begins upon entry into the store. So therefore, tracking and understanding shoppers throughout their shopping trip becomes very critical. And then the moment of truth actually takes place.
So a shopper sees a product on a display, and that's the moment of truth, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the goal is to measure that moment to determine what I call share of shopper. I learned very early on that if you put a display in the right area and in the part of the store that has the right traffic pattern, you get a far better result than just a display placed anywhere in the store.
Okay, so it's share of shopper. Now that sounds interesting. Could you give us an example?
Yeah. For instance, consider a retailer that has a 20-case display in one area and a 100-case display in a different area in the store. That 100-case display is definitely going to increase the share of display more than the 20-case display. But let's consider this. Suppose the traffic on the 20-case display is 5 or 10 or 15 times greater. That generates the movement. That generates the volume. You will never see that in a share of display, but you would see it in the share of shopper. So more shoppers actually translates into more sales. So it's that basic.
And share of shopper would apply to more than displays. It applies to items on the shelf as well, right?
Yes, you're right. So again, let's consider an example. Let's say one store has 35 facings of one product, and another store has 55 facings of the same product. If I have more facings and more space on the shelf, that's great, right? Maybe and maybe not. We need to consider and take into account some important aspects. So what is the traffic into the aisle that has the category? Is the shelf strategy appealing to shoppers in terms of messaging, navigational signage, and so on? And are we leading the category with signpost brands? Does the category have right aisle partners, etc.?
So it's not about space.
It's never been about space. It's about shoppers and share of shoppers and how we can improve this share to increase category and store productivity.
Okay, so now how can retailers and marketers determine the share of shopper?
Video mining's technology it quantifies that by creating a network of cameras throughout the store, producing a door-to-door, feet-on-the-floor tracking of each and every shopper entering the store. The network also captures every single one of these do I buy or don't I buy moments and measures those moments in seconds and then relates them to sales and conversion. So let's take an example and talk through this. For example, an average center store category is shopped for 25 seconds, just 25 seconds, and converts only 31% of shoppers to buyers. So now this information will help us as marketers and retailers to help refine shopper marketing strategies to improve conversion rates and shopping experience. If you think about it, there is an old maxim in market research, which is you can't improve what you can't measure. Well, central to center store optimization is the ability to quantify a large sample of shopper behavior observations. We can track the path to purchase and the moment of truth and provide new shopper marketing metrics which will help retailers and brands in their efforts to achieve center store optimization.
Okay, Priya, that's great. If you'd like to obtain an official transcript of this webcast, click on the link on the home page. Meanwhile, for more information about Share of Shopper and video mining, be sure to visit them on the web at www.videomining.com. Finally, to speak with Priya Babu directly, please call her at 814-574-1574. Until the next time, this is John Karolefski for the CPG Webcast.